Okay. Hi, you're with Christine and Ask Your Angels. This would be great. And you may wonder why I'm wearing a halo. It's our pre-Halloween show, so I thought I'd get dressed up. So I'm here tonight with Irina Benoit. No idea what our tech guy's doing. And Irina is here to speak about Qigong.
Qigong, yes.
And it mirrors movements of nature, especially water, and it's a form of meditation.
Kind of, yes.
Thank
you.
And known as the art of effortless power. And I did some research, and it says it's been in effect 5,000 to 7,000 years.
You know what they're saying? That lately they found in some part of China, they found a little clay tablets with the descriptions, the pictures of people practicing Qigong. And they did the research and found that they're about 8 to 10,000 years old.
Oh,
so that's very interesting. Yeah, that goes back to at least 8,000 years ago. So what people were saying is that the Qigong practice came before even the Chinese traditional Chinese medicine were discovered.
What you can do to
so
help.
it's actually the basic of the Chinese traditional medicine. And Qigong translates from Chinese as working with the Qi, which is life force energy. And people call it Qi or Ki or Hara or Prana, but that's the same. We're talking about the same life force energy that surrounds us, the breath of life. So sometimes we can hear or we can read on the internet Qigong or Qigong. It's just different ways of talking about the same art of breathing, deep relaxation, and focused awareness and meditation. So it's a very slow movements that are focus our awareness inward, and we're training the mind to stay and to be in certain parts of the body that in traditional Chinese medicine they call them tantians, or the cauldrons. Those are energy, three major energy centers there. Lower Tantian, which is the stomach, the heart center, they call it the middle Tantian, and the upper Tantian, and that's something that we call the third eye, right?
Okay.
So those three energy centers are the most vital centers in the body that regulates all the biochemistry, all the relationship between the organs and systems, nervous system, endocrine system, all the hormones, all the relationship within the body. It's all about regulating that energy by bringing Qi, storing that energy, and collecting in those energy centers. The energy center that we're the most focusing on with the Qigong practice is the lower. They call it the lower Tantian, which is the energy center in the lower abdomen area, because this is where we used to have. When we were born, we were connected to mom through the umbilical cord in the area of the belly button. That's where they believe that Tantian center is, because we still have that energy that were given to us by our parents. So the way I describe it is, every one of us, we were born with the $1 million in our account, and it's our bank. And every organ, every system of the body, when they need energy, they go to bank. When they need money, they go right here in the Tantian center to draw that energy. And so, as we were born with the abundance of that energy, with that $1 million account, and then we're wasting or we're spending it with emotions and healthy lifestyle and the food that we eat, the water that we drink, and toxic emotions and thoughts that we're dwelling on, because no one ever told us how to deal with our negative thoughts and feelings. So we're kind of
making withdrawals.
Yes, so we're at some point we don't have too much money left in there. At that time we start looking around and thinking, okay, so who can and what can help us? So that Chinese medicine and ancient practice of Qigong shows the way of going inward and using the breath and using special exercises that allows and helps us to open those energy pathways that in Chinese medicine we call them meridians or acupuncture channels. And just like if you would go to see, let's say, acupuncturist, he or she would put the needles along their paths where the energy, so to draw energy, certain specific type of the energy in, or to relieve excess amount of energy. So with the Qigong practice, you learn how to bring the Qi in and balance it out and collect it within your Tantian, that energy center, so that you can feed your organs and distribute abundance of energy to every organ and every system. That which helps your immune system to recover, to turn on the self-healing mechanism. And that's why I believe that the Qigong practice one of these natural gifts that we must use, because they've been used for centuries for a reason. And in my experience, the Qigong helped me to came back to life. And I've trained thousands of people, and at least hundreds of people. They can say that Qigong that saved their lives too.
So you actually, at the age of 21, Irina was diagnosed with cancer. Were you practicing Qigong prior to that, or is this something that was suggested to you as a way to combat that?
Well, unfortunately, I was in a university at that time, and I'm a biotechnologist engineer by first profession. So, I've been trained to believe in stuff that I can touch, that I can feel, that I can, at least understand and formulate it in an equation. And at the time when I was diagnosed with the cancer, no one even knew my mom as a doctor. So we tried to find different ways of, to heal myself and to bring my, we were told that I had about 6 to 8 to 9 months to live. And so I was offered radiation and chemo, or no radiation and chemo, like chances 50-50. And so we made decision that we're not going to take the chances, because if we didn't have even more chances to survive with the radiation, why would we go through the suffering? And so actually my mom was she was the one that actually found the doctor of Chinese medicine that were practicing back then in a communist country. That was 27 years ago.
Because Irina's from Russia.
Yes, Russia, Moscow. And so back then, I don't even know how come that guy was surviving and having his own business while everybody else were living under the government that, in the communist regime. And so we came, and I saw this doctor of Chinese medicine, and he said, well, okay, I'm going to teach you something, and I'm going to, some exercises, and we call them Qigong, so I didn't have a clue. But I have been given a choice. Well, you either practice and can help you, that could help you potentially to heal your body and bring yourself back to health, or you can go and use a conventional medicine, which we already tried.
Radiation.
Yeah, we kind of step on that path and realize that there is nothing else that they can offer to us. So I've been practicing and coming to see him and practicing Qigong, and within 6 to 9 months, my blood test went back to normal. And I continue practicing and helping him to treat his clients, because he had many people coming with it, all kinds of autoimmune diseases, the cancer patients, cancer survivors, all kinds of people that were kind of refused by their conventional medicine, and they were trying to find a way to help themselves. And so within few years, for the next few years, I've been practicing, and I've been working at his center with him, and we helped many people to get back to life again and get healthy. And then he has left. He was given, he had a sponsor who actually built a big clinic in Austria for him. And at that time I had a little child, so I couldn't move away from Russia, from Moscow, so I stayed. And I continue practicing, and I continue working. I was working at the center of the traditional traditional medicine in Moscow. It was the one in the first center, and I was the only European person, not from China, the person that was working there. And we have great success with many people that been training, doing Qigong, both Qigong and Tai Chi. That's how I got to know and being introduced to Qigong.
And I read on your website that you're a gold medal champion.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Thank you. That was a long time ago, but yes, we were teaching Tai Chi and Qigong, and I was participating, and I was a part of the competition in Russia. I became a Russia gold champion in Tai Chi, and I got a silver medal in Tai Chi sword. Amazing, beautiful exercise practice. That there is a way of actually to compete. There is a way of kind of to grade it. Somehow they know how to do it. But I'm very glad that I've done this. But it was more for me to learn and to understand, the beauty of the movement that led by the energy, because basically it's like a dance, and you're dancing with the universe as you moving your hands and transporting all that energy, all that chi. Once your body is open, it's easy to do with by practicing Tai Chi or Tai Chi sword. With the sword, it's amazing. It's a beautiful thing to do.
Now, would it be easy for everybody or just ballerinas?
Well, that my background helps me a lot, because it's a lot when you start practicing Tai Chi, and I usually teach the same way that my teachers were teaching me. So we start with the Qigong practice, when you open your body and you allow and you train your body to bring that energy, and train yourself in doing certain types of the breathing techniques that allows you to collect the chi, to bring it in your body, to store, to heal your organs, cleanse your organs, purify your body, so that you have greater ability to store energy. Because many light workers and spiritual people saying, I want to have more light in my body. Well, we have to train the body to store that energy, to hold more light. It takes time and effort. And that Qigong practice, it's an ancient practice that actually allows us to keep more light in the body.
It's now it says it's helping you become one with nature. Is it better to do outside?
Well, summertime is really good to practice Qigong outside, or a Tai Chi, and you must saw these people, practicing the slow movements, and you watch them and you don't understand why they're moving those hands with very slow motion, because most of the stuff, most of the actions that are happening, they're happening inside. With the Tai Chi or Qigong, it's not what you see, it's what's happening inside of the body. As you lead this energy with your breath, and you become aware of how it travels through your body. That's why you combine the breathing and movement, and you get the best results. You can practice it anywhere. I was teaching in Japan, in Tokyo, 5 years ago. I had 74 students, and we had not a really big, a room, and but they're very respectful to the energy field of other people. So it's a little bit different psychology in there, when people are respecting a space, your space and someone else's space, and we had more than enough. So you only have you need small room to practice Qigong, a little bit bigger space for Tai Chi, because with Tai Chi, it's like a second step. You train, you learn how to bring energy in, and then with Tai Chi, you beginning to master the Chi, because that's what the translation of the Tai Chi. Tai Chi means mastering the Chi. So you're moving, and as you physically move your body, you actually move that energy, and through a certain pathways that we call the meridians and acupuncture channels, because they're open now.
Okay. So if someone wanted to become more spiritually open, or open their third eye, this would be a good way to do that.
Well, what I've learned in life, that the spiritual awareness comes together with being able to hold more light and more high frequency of energy in your body, and we cannot do that without taking care of the body. Right? So the spiritual awareness is the ability to hold more energy that you used to hold. So by the end of the day, you still have extra energy, so you can see things that other people cannot see, so that you hear things that other people cannot hear. And every Qigong or Tai Chi master that I met, these people can diagnose very easily. They go into the energy field. Most of them have psychic abilities. They never train that. Because again, the ability to hold that energy in the body, it's actually creates all these extrasensory abilities that we call, that opening the third eye.
Mm-hmm.
Because in Qigong, for example, we have exercises where we train ourselves how we learn and we practice how to hold more light in pituitary gland and pineal gland, which is the third eye. But that's the specific exercise that people have been practicing for a long time. Because Qigong has a different applications. We start learning Qigong for health purposes, and I call it Qigong for health, and that's something that I teach, because once you learn, or anyone, you can only benefit from it. It's not a medical Qigong, right? So everybody can learn and benefit from it by improving immune system and restoring your health. There is another application of Qigong, and again, you have to first build the health in your body before you go to the next step, and which is the spiritual Qigong, where you work more with that life force energy on and using that energy to reconnect to the energy of the constellations and stars and earths and humans, or using that energy to heal other people. Which is part of the Qigong practice anyways, because you can transfer that energy and pass it on someone else, and they call it the Qigong healing. And that spiritual aspect of Qigong, sometimes they call it spiritual Qigong, or sometimes they call it cosmic Qigong, but that's basically it's all the same. So the Qigong practice were built a long time ago, let's say 5 or 8 thousand years ago, and been practiced by ancient masters who had idea of immortality. The Qigong was built in order to heal and keep body in a perfect condition, so that people who practice Qigong had enough time to work on reaching enlightenment, which would allow them to go on the other side when they choose to.
Mm-hmm.
And when they cross over, they keep the energy, the spirit, and awareness with them. And so there are different stages of immortality. But the idea, the final goal of Qigong is to reach an immortality. So that's why we're using only a small little piece where we heal the body, because people were, saying, well, okay, I can only start Qigong practicing in the past when I raised my kids, I did my job, I've done everything, and now I'm 60 years old, now I have my time, another 60 years of practice that I can devote to myself and my spiritual goals. Well, you cannot reach the spiritual goals if your body is not healthy. So you start with the body.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very interesting.
That makes sense. If this was happening 10,000 years ago, and this is probably a silly question, but you hear that way back, people live shorter lives.
Yes, and yet we have all these stories about all these Chinese masters of Qigong, Tai Chi, the doctors of Chinese medicine that had been living for 120 years, 150 years, 100 years, 98 years, and there was those are the people that were actually practicing Qigong for a reason, because they need to prolong their lifespan and have a healthy body in order for them to reach to help other people and help themselves to safely transition. They have this like Mexican Indians, they have that obsession with time. Time is everything, and the Mayan calendar that everybody is working through.
A little while ago.
And the Qigong practitioners and the Chinese masters of Tai Chi and traditional Chinese medicine, they were obsessed with energy and immortality as a way of to hold your spirit, to hold your awareness, so that you reincarnate and you're aware of who you are. You never lose your awareness, because that's the mastery of life. That's what they were aiming for. Which is incredible, whether we believe in it or not, but it's an incredible tool by itself, because it just pushes us a little bit further away from the limitations of the body, so that we don't stop, oh, I'm healthy, now what, right? So you always move forward.
We've covered reincarnation, past life regression, and one of the things that we've covered is the fact that maybe we're not meant to know what happened in a past life. Maybe it would hinder us in this life. But you're saying they actually tried to achieve that knowledge.
Yes.
So it's kind of like when we go for regression. I think everybody who believes in it really would like to know what happened in their past life.
Well, you benefit because awareness is the power, the knowledge is the power. So if you bring the knowledge, when you bring the knowledge of who you are, in any mystery school, in any tradition, anywhere you go in the world, know thyself, that's the first rule. And so if you remember and you know who you are, then you can progress. Then there is an evolution. So you don't start with the point zero, but you progress.
Right. And then you can actually see things that you need to fix right away and work on them.
Yes, yeah. And you have ability to actually make those choices because you already know you're where.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to take a moment and just mention that you're with Ask Your Angels. It's www.askyourangels.ca. We are regularly on every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For this week only, we are on Tuesday, as you can see. So I'm not sure if some of our regular viewers are with us. If you did manage to join us, thank you so much for coming. As you know, if you saw last week's show, it was a very difficult time, the passing of Marianne Grabowski, and thank you for your well wishes. She'll be greatly missed. Please visit our blog, www.askyourangeltalkshow.blogspot.com, and we focus on all of our shows. You can go back and read a little bit about all the different shows that we've done. We're here with Irina Benoit, and we're here to talk about Qigong. And Irina's website, if you'd like to have a look, is www.irinabenoit.com. And thanks so much for joining us tonight. I meant to say that. We were talking about when we're born, the umbilical cord attaches us to our moms, and there's a lot of energy there, and that's where we store energy.
Yes.
Yes? I had a question because you'd mentioned it affects hormones. What about people with menopause, fertility issues? Would this technique help them?
Greatly. In fact, we were just yesterday had a class, and we were joking. One of my friends and my client, she just joined the class, the Qigong class, and it was a time for her to join the club of women that are going through the menopause, and so she developed the hot flashes, and she was very determined. For 2 weeks she was practicing Qigong with a goal and idea to stop and balance the hot flashes, and she was doing the Qigong exercises to balance yin and yang energy, which is helps to balance the female and male hormones. So when she came to the last class last time, she was very happy to announce to everybody she doesn't have hot flashes anymore. She worked hard for 2 weeks. She's been practicing for about half an hour every single morning, and she's very happy to announce that this is gone. And I can tell you that in my practice, because I have my oldest students, about 60 to 70 years old, those people that have been trained, I was training in back in Russia, in Moscow. They successfully went through their menopause, never had flashes, and it's an amazing thing that Tai Chi and Qigong practitioners, women, they're developing the greater skill and ability to balance their energy, the yin and yang energy in the body, female and male hormones, which makes sense because that's what we're working with essence, which is hormone, and we're working with the hormones and hormonal balance, because Qigong addresses many areas, but works mainly with organs, glands, and there are specific exercises that allows us to release the stagnated or negative or unhealthy or blocked chi, so that we have a balance, that you don't have too much of one. And like I always describe, there is an exercise that we do, and that allows us to help the balance, even the temperature in the body and the energy there, the the quality of energy in the body. It's like having a house with few rooms being overheated and few rooms being too cold, and the ability to move chi in your body brings this normal flow of energy and regulates the temperature, regulates the hormones. And the reason why, because see, the Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation, those are practices that allows that helps us to switch from from a fight and flight response, from the sympathetic to parasympathetic system. And so when that happens, your body has a natural ability to restore self-healing mechanism. Because in a constant fight and flight response with people, what we call the de-stress, the body greatly affected, immune system greatly affected by that de-stress. It's not the stress that we experience in once in a while that kills us. It's that constant stress and without being able to recover after it. So what happens with the stress? What happens when the fight and flight response happen? It's your immune system shuts down completely, because all the energy that immune system has to send to organs and systems now goes into the survivor mode, so that you can actually survive. So there's a one function only: preserve, survive, run, rush. So that's what that's why people are more and more doctors beginning to become aware that people getting burned out, and they call it adrenal burned out. You can never have adrenal burned out if you're practicing Qigong, because you're always revitalizing the most important organs. And we work with what they call it 5 yin organs, of 5 organs that are holding energy in. They're not producing, they're not creating energy, they hold what is, they keep it. And we can keep that energy for life, and it can damage our systems. And in fact, 25 years ago, when my teacher back in China told me that certain organs keep certain emotions, I was very critical, because I said, well, I'm biotechnologist engineer, what do you mean? And he would say, well, the fears your kidneys used to store fears. I was like, okay, so what I can do? Well, you can cleanse your kidneys, and then there is a way of letting go of that stagnated energy in there, that sick energy, and it's a specific frequency of energy that mind describes as a fear. So if you know how to release that energy, you most likely won't have that same reaction, fear. So that's where we get into the mind and body connection, really. And it's true, we store fears in the kidneys, and then we have low back things, pains, and then when the low back is too overwhelmed, we're dumping in the knees. And then if you see the doctor of Chinese medicine and you say, well, my knees are hurting, he or she will right away check your kidneys, because that's the connection, right? So the anger damages the liver and gallbladder, and people that are get irritated and frustrated very often, and maybe even with themselves, because most of the time we cannot respond to anyone else in a different way that we're responding to ourselves. So it's like a inner critic, right? Mm-hmm. And a criticism that actually eats your liver alive and damages your liver. A sadness always, depression always damages the lungs, and the lungs meridian and physical organ lungs. And it makes sense. I don't know, but if you notice that. But I've noticed many years ago, when I feel sad, if I continue feeling that way years ago, if I allow myself to do that, in a week or so, I will develop some kind of coughing, and then throat infection, and then lung infection, or something like this. Mm-hmm. So heart is everything to do with being compassionate and loving, or also we believe that heart energy with the jealousy and the hatred, with the rushing and rushing and running, because we're all living in that addiction. With that addiction, we need to speed up, we need to do more, and sometimes we forget that it's not what we're doing, it's how we're doing it. Mm-hmm. That is important, and how you feel about yourself. So Qigong actually, in the Qigong practice, we train, and I was trained that way too. So this is not something in New Age. This is not something that I've learned from The Secret. mover, let's say, but it's something that confirmed that when my teacher said, you know what, you have to learn how to love yourself, how to smile in your organs, how to love your organs enough to release that unhealthy stuff. You know, how to love yourself, to open your heart, receive and release all the judgment, all the criticism, so that you can open yourself and heal your blood. And that's what I've done a lot, because we were working on visualizing white blood and red blood cells as they're smiling back at me when I smile at them. It's very interesting, but it's once you start applying, it just makes sense. You know, makes sense. So yes, we're working with 5 living organs: heart, liver, lungs, kidneys, spleen, pancreas, and stomach. And talking about spleen, pancreas, and stomach, this is what they call the energy of the earth. It's the most important energy that every other organ builds on. And we used to store and damage our spleen and pancreas with worries and insecurities. And first thing that we are damaging is digestion. And digestion is everything, because amongst those 5 elements, they call it 5 elements, or five elements that the energy that are interacting with the body, that support each other. This spleen and pancreas and stomach is the most important, because it represents the energy of the earth, and everything else is built on that energy. Very interesting concept that allows us to understand that each one of those organs, there are 5 organs that are all interrelated with each other, to each other. So once you support one, it supports another one, it supports another one, and that's a true body-mind connection. And I have many people who are saying, you know what, I feel so much calmer, so much happier, so much more at peace, I sleep better. We're not doing anything else. We're just cleaning up that energy. You know, we're working on releasing those blockages from your organs and bringing in and you know, this happy, positive energy, and recharging each organ with a specific emotion and specific type of energy.
We talked about this with Nicole Dunn with acupuncture, and how the meridians and how everything was connected. And when you get a blockage, the energy isn't going through.
Yep.
So it's the same sort of
Absolutely,
idea.
because acupuncture is a part of the traditional Chinese medicine. Qigong, acupuncture, herbal medicine, feng shui, the art of Tai Chi. This used to be a part of the traditional Chinese medicine. The way people were healed. So they would not only prescribe, to put the needles or give you certain herbs. They will teach you certain exercises, breathing exercises, Qigong or Tai Chi exercises. They would also, the doctor would come and check the space and how you're arranging things in your space,
right,
so that you have that kind of a holistic approach to your life, your health,
too much
and your
clutter.
environment. Yeah. Yes. And
surround yourself with happy things that make you happy.
Absolutely. Yeah. And energies of the the objects that represent certain energies, so that you always feel that you have a flow of energy in your house, just like in your body. So it's not never stuck.
Balanced.
Yes.
Have you ever seen the movie Calendar Girls?
Nope.
I had a feeling you probably hadn't. But it's a great movie if anyone's seen Calendar Girls. But there's one scene where all these older women, they're all senior citizens, and they're up on a hill, and they're doing what I assume is what we're talking about, Qigong. It's beautiful. It's very slow movements.
Yes.
Very.
Yeah.
Like, can you give us? I know it's hard because we're in chairs, but can you kind of give us an idea of? Oh, we have an online question.
Got a couple of questions tonight.
Sure.
Okay, this is kind of a 2-part one. Will she be demonstrating any exercises, and will she recommend it in martial arts training?
Very interesting question. Well, I don't think we have enough time and space to demonstrate exercises, but all the Qigong practice starts with breathing. And we call it Tantian breathing and lower abdomen breathing. And with this one, it's very simple. You can stand up or sit down. Just place your feet parallel, shoulder wide, and the focus is on expanding and bringing energy and oxygen to the lowest parts of your lungs, to what the area that we call the Tantian. As you expand it with inhale, and just
Expand it with
expand it.
inhale?
Yep.
I can't do that.
I know, because we've been trained to do the opposite type of the breathing.
So it's
Expanding as
mine's
you
expanded all
inhale
the time, unfortunately. But
and
anyway,
exhale and shrink. That type of the breathing allows your mind, calm down your mind, and to bring chi and collect chi rather than lose chi. The Tantian breathing, you can Google it. The Tantian breathing or lower abdomen breathing. It's they call it sometimes baby breathing, because when baby born, they breathe this way, and then in the Chinese medicine they call it we start aging.
I think I got it. What do you think?
Inhaling and expanding. And you know what? The easiest way to get that type of the breathing is to imagine that you have a balloon in your stomach. And when you inhale, the balloon is expanding. And when you exhale, it's actually shrinking. That's it. And the proper way of doing this exercise is to bring your tongue and upper palate behind your teeth, in a soft spot behind your teeth, and so that you can breathe through your nose, and so that you can oxygenate your brain. That's the first thing, and a very simple exercise that allows you to collect energy. Everything else and anything else, and I taught many martial artists, and I've been practicing wushu for many years myself. This is a basic training, because with this one you start collecting and building chi, and then there are different exercises where you can actually strengthen your organs, and for purposes of being strong and not so that you create an energy field around your liver, and you're strengthening and you pump energy, chi in around the liver, and it's so healthy and so strong that if anyone punches you, it won't be damaging to those inner organs. These exercises, we call this Qigong, Iron Short Qigong. I'm teaching this Iron Short Qigong in my classes too. And again, there are two ways and different applications. You can apply it to build the strength and health in your organs, or you can go further, a few steps further, and actually rebuild so much chi around your organs, inner organs, once they're healthy, that you're using it in the martial arts. Because the Iron Short Qigong was used 1,000 years ago at the times when, the times of the war, when they were actually fighting and with the wushu.
I remember a while back when there was this huge weight loss fad where people were just sitting and breathing. It was all about breathing. They were saying how they were losing weight just by sitting and breathing.
Yep.
So that sounds kind of like even just doing that little exercise, it really tightens your muscles, like you can really feel it.
Well, you can absolutely. The breath, it's a breath of life, right? So by bringing the oxygen and the lower parts of your lungs, you're oxygenating your body, you're speeding up your metabolism, you have ability to bring and collect chi. It's an incredible tool. We forgot about this, but actually the breath is the breath of life. We when we were born, we didn't know. No one ever taught us how to breathe in and how to breathe out. And there are many things that we can learn from breathing. Tantian breathing, when you're imagining the balloon in your stomach, inhale and balloon is expanding, and as you exhale it's shrinking. That type of breathing is really healthy way to do, even if you can, breathe that way for 5 or 6, 10 minutes. That will calm your mind, and you will be able to sleep and release the anxieties if you're going through the panic attacks or anxieties. Always remember, please place your tongue and upper palate behind your teeth, and do your deep abdomen breathing, and within a few seconds you will be okay. And the reason why, because when you place your tongue and upper palate behind your teeth, you're connecting those two meridians that are running in the body, in the back and front. We call them governor and functional channels. When they closed, you're no longer losing energy, so you will be able to build up energy. So you can use that practice even as we're going through the challenging times when we're under the certain amount of stress. Just place your tongue in upper palate there, and focus on your breathing for a few minutes, and restore your balance. Bring your energy back into your body. It's cheap for the stress reduction. That doesn't take more than a minute to practice.
Well, there's one thing I'm confused about, because we all expel energy. But you said it doesn't recreate energy, it keeps the energy in. So if it keeps the energy in, how do we expel energy?
I'm not sure if I quite
Okay.
expel energy.
Do you kind of get what I'm saying? When you do exercise, you're using energy.
Yes.
So is that a different kind of energy than the energy we're keeping in with Qigong?
Got it. Yeah. See, it's very interesting. I've been trained with a personal trainer lately, and then these guys were very surprised that for my age I'm capable of doing things that usually would kill the younger people, and I'm still alive, and I'm functional. And one day they decided to come and join my Qigong classes, and that day it was for first or second time when they joined the class, they realized what's actually happening. As I'm training, I'm actually using both the Qi and bringing it in my body as I'm using the Qi energy to build up the muscles, and I'm not get tired. In fact, it's very interesting that, because in all the ancient teams, athletic teams, Olympic teams, in China, Korea, South Korea, Japan, they teach Qigong as a part of their training, as they're training their athletes.
Oh, okay.
We have there are people that brought the Qigong, the art of Qigong, and combined it with the running. They call it Qi running and Qi walking. And so that's the same idea. You use that life force energy as you walk or you run. I do it same thing, and now they call it, my personal trainers, they call it, are you cheating? Because you're doing the Qigong, so we cannot kill you with our exercises. You just keep going. You're just like machine, because I generate Qi, I bring the Qi, and I build the muscles. And in fact, I build more muscles faster than anyone else, because yes, instead of, like you said, exhaling the Qi or expelling the Qi, I actually bring the Qi in. So I train both muscles and I bring the Qi, so at the end I have more Qi than when I started my exercises. Which I guess that
really isn't fair. It's kind of like in the Olympics, they're not allowed to use steroids. So you are cheating, kind of.
But it's a little cheating, because I only use the oxygen, the breath of air, which is the natural, my natural ability to breathe, right? It's just I've trained myself, or they are training themselves how to bring the Qi so that they get stronger with whatever they're doing. They're building up certain muscles. Same thing with the martial arts aspect. Yes, it's endurance, and you can build that endurance because you're working on creating strength in the organs of your body and balancing your nervous system. So you have more than enough.
So if I were to say, what are 10 benefits of Qigong that you can think of?
I don't even know where to start to finish. The first thing that comes to my mind, I mean, if someone would start practicing Qigong in the same position where I was before, being unhealthy, so it definitely brings you back to health, because it builds up your immune system. It's the best way to rebuild immune system. That's why I usually have 30% of my class people that are going through cancer, and they've been sent by doctors of Chinese medicine, because they were said, okay, find a Qigong practitioner, or send it directly to me. So it's a way to bring yourself back to health, both physical, emotional, and mental, because it works on 3 levels, right? Not only the physical health. If you're physically healthy, we're talking about the level of the fitness, endurance, strength. And that's something that you can grow, because healthy people, I'm practicing now, I don't have a doctor here in Canada since I came, because 25 years ago I've done enough with the doctors. I'm sorry, and my mom is a doctor. I have nothing to say bad about the doctors, but I don't need the one, because I can rebalance myself before my body get into that disease, right? I can bring myself back at ease, back to peace, back to a balance or homeostasis, before these symptoms requires the pill or any kind of external intervention. So for those people that are healthy, they can work and promote the extra strength, fitness level. It builds the muscles, it builds the strength. If you have sleeping problems, anxieties and worries, then it's amazing natural tool of bringing yourself back to peace, emotional and mental peace that we all need, and it's the best tool for the stress reduction. Just like I said, we don't know, but how much the stress, it's a silent killer that creates all this stuff that we're dealing later on. And I've heard, I think it was Dalai Lama who just said recently, when someone asked him, what surprises you the most? And he said, humans, they're surprising me the most, because they're killing their health to make money, and then they're using money to heal their health and bring themselves back to health. Why we cannot live in a harmony? Mm-hmm. And I think that Qigong and Tai Chi is a way of living your life in a harmony.
That's beautiful. That wasn't tense, but that was beautiful.
Yes,
no, that's great. I've seen it before. I think to watch people do it, they just look so relaxed, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah, but to feel it
is even better.
So I welcome you, and the guys that are listening and watching us out there. If you're in Mississauga area, Port Credit, please come. Try the class, try it for free so that you feel the benefits. You know that, the endorphins, the good, feeling good hormones, they're here in the stomach. They're not here. We're processing them in here, right? But you create them in that area, in that vital area that Qigong works with. And when you go through these simple exercises that are accessible for every person of every age and group, age category and fitness level, it doesn't require the stretches and being able to stretch or to do all these, incredible things. It's not even yoga. It's a very simple exercise that requires only few things: your willingness to learn new things and to get better.
Now, I probably shouldn't ask this, but based on what you just said, and I was looking around on the website, it does say that because it's this area, it helps with your sexuality. So I'm wondering if this could be like something that would alleviate that little blue pill everyone's taking.
Well, we can talk about it. We can make another show just about that, so we can address I'm very interested about this. But
let us know about that.
Yes, but energy is energy.
Mm-hmm.
Energy is energy. That's one thing that I can tell you. This.
And do you know offhand when your next class is?
I have two classes. One starts on October the 27th at 8 o'clock, which is a Thursday, October the 27th.
This Thursday, right?
Thursday, yes. And I have another Qigong basic program that starts on November the 28th. And again, it's from 8 to 9:15. All my classes, an hour and 15 minutes long. And it's evening classes. I'm not taking drop-ins because I created a program, basic, intermediate, and advanced program, where I teach people, give them tools so that they can, after 10 classes, taking 10 classes with me, you can easily continue practicing at home, remembering everything and remembering why you're doing what you're doing, which is the most important. So
you should call Irina to schedule if you're coming, yes?
Absolutely, just give me a call or email me.
What's your email address?
info@irinavinois.com.
And it's Irina?
Yeah,
I've been saying it wrong.
Irina.
That's lovely. And it's irinabenoit.com if you're going to her website. And you're here with Ask Your Angels, our website, www.askyourangels.ca. And follow us on Twitter, www.twitter.com Angel Talk Show /Angel Talk Show. So thanks so much for coming in tonight.
You're welcome.
And we apologize I know we got started late. We had some technical difficulties. We had a little break during the show. But hey, you can get up, get yourself a beer or coffee or some water, or do what you need to do. So maybe that was a welcome break. But anyway, join us next Wednesday. I'm not 100% sure who will be on the show, but I'm looking into getting a cat or dog whisperer. So if you have pets, you might like to check out the show next week. We'll see. Can't promise, but that's what we're working on for 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And have a great Halloween. And thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for joining
And
us.
thank you for coming.
Good health.
Good night.